Good evening. My name is Mohammed Mamoon. I'd first like to begin by giving a brief introduction about the history of Resilience Inc. In response to the tragic event of the Parkland High School shooting in Florida, John Fay, executive director for Resilience Inc., along with others, sat down to take an initiative in finding a solution to this crisis, the crisis of continuous violence throughout schools in the country, as well as the unfortunate repeated school shootings that keep on occurring every single year. One of the proposals was that schools need more counselors. This, however, did not turn out well, as counselors could only provide guidance, while it's the student's duty to implement. Other issues include the fact that counseling requires mental health evaluations, which include providing much personal information about households. The reality is that most families prefer keeping such information confidential. About 50% of families divorce before children reach the age of 16, and such details most families are not willing to share with people. Most families would not be willing to share with counselors in school. Also, those who are not struggling, children that are not struggling, their parents would be more satisfied taking care of their own kids, and they will not like other people parenting their kids. Therefore, counselors will also not be able to fulfill any of their needs. However, after thorough research on what can help prevent school violence, they found out about a program that had achieved relative success in the state of Colorado. This program was known as social and emotional learning. Social and emotional learning has seen considerable success in helping to prevent school shootings, school violence in general, as well as other serious issues such as suicide. Moving on to my role in this organization, my role was that of a software developer. As of right now, I'm still part of the languages team. We're responsible for helping to provide the material in various different languages. This does not involve knowing any of the different languages. Our responsibility is to incorporate PDFs, videos, and audio files into each language file respectively. The framework used by Resilience Inc. is that of React Native. Using React.js, I was able to contribute towards helping to create an app for schools wishing to employ the social and emotional learning curriculum. Although my background is in Java, this was now an opportunity for me to learn and use a new language at the same time. The way that the app is structured is that we have a file for the main curriculum. The main files necessary for the business logic of the app are found in the screens and curriculums folders, respectively, as you can see in the middle of the screen. Within the screens folder, there are separate files for the home screen, lesson screen, course screen, splash screen, and many other core components that make the app. Much of the functionality of the app is determined by the correct import and implementation of relevant files into the home screen file. As our course is offered in 6 different languages, myself and my team were given the task of incorporating the audio and PDF URIs as seen in the top right of the screen within each respective curriculum file, within each respective language curriculum file. Each curriculum file is made accessible within touchable opacity tags in the home screen file. The repository for our code is regularly committed into Bitbucket. Before committing my own additions and changes to the app, I would have to put code in my own separate branch within Bitbucket. Moving on to what I learned while working with Resilience Inc., I became well-versed and used to the Scrum-based project guidelines. Our weekly sprints would include adding new components and debugging any existing problems within the app. The expected deadline for each task would typically be on Wednesdays, the day of our weekly meeting. Another important skill that I learned while working with Resilience Inc. is that of meeting deadlines. As each task would be expected to be completed by each Wednesday, the ball will be out of my court, pressuring me to complete as much as possible in a relatively short amount of time. Implementing Scrum and working with a developer team will both definitely be valuable experience when actually working as a developer for a company. As far as achievements are concerned, on an organizational level, myself and my team were able to successfully facilitate the availability of our social and emotional learning course in various other languages. Personally, I was able to learn a very relevant programming language, that of JavaScript, as well as a very relevant framework, that being React Native. Among the key takeaways include the value of teamwork. The amount of work behind just a portion of the app is an exhaustive task. There's a constant need to debug the code, a task that often drags on for days. By dividing as many tasks as possible within multiple teams, what would normally take weeks for an individual gets done within a few days to a week. Also, we're able to create much value I was able to learn how to create value through desktop and mobile applications. Using the convenience provided by the internet, computers, and mobile devices, we're able to learn how to provide a very valuable course for people all around the world, as this is offered in multiple languages. And the last point from among the key takeaways is that practical experience that would most certainly help when officially beginning my career as a software developer. The biggest impact in my career would be the fact that this will help enhance my resume. Being proficient in JavaScript along with the React Native framework would definitely make my resume more attractive to employers, as JavaScript is commonly used to develop web applications. With this added, I now have 2 languages in my list of qualifications for application programming. In summary, I would say that practical experience, especially as a programmer, is absolutely key. When you're in the field of software development, you can never take a break from practice. I personally met an individual who is a graduate that is a part of the Selena team who has specifically joined with the sole purpose of sharpening his coding and programming skills. So, that's all as far as my experience with Resilience Inc. I hope to take the skills that I've learned from here and to use it when I officially begin my career as a software developer. Thank you very much, and hope you all have a great day.